You know that feeling. It doesn't always shout. Most of the time, it's a quiet hum, a background noise to your life. It's there when you're stuck in traffic, staring at the brake lights of the car in front of you, with the radio playing a song you've heard 1,000 times. It's there in the middle of the night, when you wake up for no reason, and the silence in the room feels enormous. It's the quiet, persistent question that surfaces in the strangest moments. What is all this for? You're making coffee, you're answering emails, you're laughing at a joke with a co-worker. And then suddenly, this little whisper from a deep place inside asks, is this really it? Is this the point? It's not a question that comes from sadness or despair. Not always. Sometimes it comes from a place of simple, raw curiosity. You look at the incredible complexity of your own life, the memories, the heartbreaks, the ambitions, the people you've loved, the routines you follow, and you feel this immense hunger for it all to add up to something, for it to mean something significant. We are raised to be hunters of answers. From our first day in school, we are taught that for every problem, there is a solution. For every question, there is an answer at the back of the book. We learn to solve for X, to find the capital of a country, to follow a recipe, to get a predictable cake. Our minds become incredibly skilled at this. They become powerful tools designed to identify a problem, break it down, and find a logical, satisfying conclusion. We carry this skill into our adult lives. It helps us navigate our careers, fix our relationships, and manage our finances. It's a brilliant mechanism for survival and progress. But then we turn this powerful tool inward. We point it at the very heart of our own existence, and we ask it to solve the biggest question of all. What is the meaning of my life? And that is where the whole thing begins to fall apart. Because here is the great paradox. The desperate, constant search for a grand, overarching meaning is the very thing that makes life feel meaningless. It's a strange trick of consciousness. The more you demand an answer from the universe, the more silent it becomes. It's like trying to hold a handful of water. The moment you clench your fist to secure it, to possess it, it slips through your fingers and you're left with nothing but a damp, empty hand. The gentler your grip, the more water you can hold. The search for meaning works in the same way. The frantic need to define it, to put it into a box with a neat label, my career, my family, my art, my spiritual path, is a form of clenching. And life, like water, cannot be held that way. This creates a silent, exhausting chase that defines so many lives. We chase the next promotion, believing that the title and the responsibility will finally deliver the feeling of purpose. We chase the perfect relationship, convinced that another person's love will be the final puzzle piece that makes our own life feel complete. We chase experiences, travelling to distant lands, skydiving, running marathons, collecting stories like trophies, hoping that one of them will contain the secret. But with each achievement, after the initial rush fades, the old hum returns. The question comes back, maybe a little quieter at first, but it's still there. Okay, what now? The meaning we thought we'd captured was just a temporary distraction. Think about it. This habit of the mind, this need to solve everything, becomes a cage. When applied to the mystery of being alive, it doesn't bring clarity, it brings anxiety. It turns the beautiful, chaotic, and unpredictable experience of living into a problem that must be solved. And because it's a problem with no single logical answer, we are left feeling perpetually deficient, like we're failing a test we didn't even know we were taking. We look at others who seem happy and assume they've found the answer. We read books and listen to speakers, hoping they will just give us the formula. We scroll through feeds filled with people who seem to have it all figured out, their lives presented as a series of meaningful moments, perfectly curated, and our own inner world, with its confusion and its quiet hum of questioning, feels profoundly wrong. We feel like we are missing a fundamental instruction that everyone else received. But what if there is no instruction? What if this relentless seeking is an outdated way of operating, a habit that is no longer serving us? We are taught to look for meaning outside of ourselves, as if it's a hidden treasure we need to discover. We treat it like an object. But meaning is not an object. It is not a destination. It's not an answer you can write down and memorize. The mind's insistence on finding a concrete thing is the source of the struggle. It is using a ruler to measure the temperature of the room. It's the wrong tool for the job. This hunt turns you into a spectator in your own life. You're so busy analysing every scene, trying to figure out the plot and the ultimate moral of the story, that you forget you are the main character. You're not in the audience. You're on the stage. The constant mental commentary. Is this meaningful? Does this matter? Is this leading somewhere? Pulls you out of the direct experience of your own existence. It separates you from the very life you're trying to find meaning in. You're trying to read the menu so intensely that you never actually taste the food. This isn't a personal failure. It's a collective hypnosis. It's a way of being that we've all inherited. A pattern of consciousness that is now beginning to dissolve because it has run its course. It has taken us as far as it can, and now it just leads to a dead end of anxiety and perpetual dissatisfaction. The hunger for an answer is a phantom hunger. You're trying to satisfy it with more and more information, more goals, more achievements, but the hunger isn't for an answer, it's for something else entirely. It's a hunger for direct contact with the moment you are actually in. By the way, our shared space of light and awareness is on its way to 100,000 people. Thank you to everyone who subscribes and brings this moment closer. So, what happens when the chase stops? What happens when you gently put down the habit of asking life to constantly justify its own existence? The shift is subtle at first, but it is the most radical transformation you can experience. You move from being an observer, demanding an explanation, to being a participant in the experience itself. Imagine you've spent your whole life as a critic at a play, sitting in the audience with a notepad, analysing the lighting, critiquing the actor's delivery, trying to figure out the playwright's ultimate message. You are so consumed with your analysis that you never feel the tension. You never laugh with the crowd. You never get lost in the story. Then one day, you simply walk onto the stage. You don't have a script. You don't know how the story ends. You just start participating in the scene that is happening right now. You look into the other actor's eyes. You feel the warmth of the stage lights. You deliver a line that comes to you in that moment. You stop asking, what does this all mean? And you start living the scene so fully that the question becomes irrelevant. The experience itself is the answer. This is how you begin to live the answer instead of searching for it. And what you discover is that true meaning isn't an idea you find. It's not a philosophical concept you can finally grasp. It's a feeling. It's a feeling that arises from connection. It was never hidden in a secret book or on a remote mountaintop. It was here all along, in the simplest, most overlooked corners of your life. It's in the moment you truly listen to a friend describe their day without thinking about what you're going to say next. The feeling of connection in that shared silence is meaning. It's in the 3 minutes you let a piece of music completely take you over. Your mind goes quiet and you just feel the melody in your cells. That feeling of resonance is meaning. It's the feeling of the first sip of coffee in the morning, when you actually taste it, instead of just using it as fuel, while your mind is already racing through your to-do list. That moment of pure sensory presence is meaning. It was never gone. It was just buried under the noise, the constant search for something bigger, something more important. We were like someone digging for treasure in a distant land, completely unaware that our own backyard was filled with diamonds. We were trained to look for fireworks in the sky, so we never noticed the quiet, steady warmth of the hearth right beside us. This reveals a fundamental truth about the architecture of our reality. Meaning isn't something you receive from the world. It's something you generate and give to the world with your attention. It's not a passive discovery, but an active creation. Life isn't a crossword puzzle where you have to find the pre-written answers. It's a blank page, and your presence, your focused and loving attention, is the ink. When you bring your full presence to washing the dishes, feeling the warm water on your hands, seeing the iridescence of the soap bubbles, you are creating a meaningful moment out of a mundane task. The task itself didn't change, but the quality of your attention transformed it. When you're walking down the street, buried in your phone, the walk is just a means to an end. It feels empty. But when you put the phone away and notice the way the sunlight filters through the leaves of a tree, or the sound of your own footsteps on the pavement, or the expression on a stranger's face, that same walk becomes rich, textured, and alive. That richness is the meaning. You start to realise that meaning isn't a destination you arrive at. It's not a state of permanent understanding you achieve one day, after which you get a certificate, and the questioning stops forever. It's the texture of the path under your feet. It's something you generate with every conscious breath, with every moment you choose presence over distraction. The point of the journey isn't the destination, it's the quality of how you journey. Are you running through the landscape, eyes fixed on a distant point on the horizon, missing everything around you? Or are you walking with an open awareness, feeling the ground beneath you, noticing the colours, the sounds, the smells? Both paths might lead to the same physical place, but one is an empty, anxious chase, and the other is a rich, meaningful experience. This is liberation, not from life's problems, they will still come, not from confusion or uncertainty. They are part of the human experience. It is liberation from the constant, exhausting chase for an answer that was never missing. It's the relief of a hunter who finally realises there's nothing to catch and can at last sit down and simply enjoy the beauty of the forest. You stop asking life to perform for you to prove itself to you. And in return, life opens up to you in ways you could never have imagined. You start noticing the connections, the synchronicities, the quiet guidance that was always there, but was drowned out by the noise of your seeking mind. The world stops being a problem to be solved and becomes a mystery to be lived. And the quiet hum of anxiety is replaced by a quiet sense of belonging. The feeling that simply being here, right now, is enough. It was always enough. If this video changed something in you, write in the comments. I stop looking and start living. Write it as your promise. Nobody